Hi, my name is Marcus Allen, CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters Independence. And I want to share with you today a bike ride that I took with two of my good friends from San Francisco to Atlantic City, spending 49 days riding across this country to raise money for a charity that we cared about.
Good morning, going strong.
And along that ride, I was able to write down 100 lessons for the leader. And I've culled through that list, and I'd like to share 10 of my favorite with you that I think will have impact on your lives. Here's one. The road to your goal is always under construction. I remember the day that I wrote that because we were encountering a couple detours that day. We came across a bridge that was out and we had to go around it. And then there was a highway that was under construction and we had to be led through the highway with a state trooper. And I remember being irritated and frustrated because I was so focused on us getting the ride done that day. And from a leadership perspective, sometimes we don't understand that we're going to be learning because the obstacles and the challenges are where the learning is. And so this bike ride taught me to enjoy the detours. Here's another one. Always take a student posture. You're always in learning mode. On this bike ride, I was the weakest rider and I knew the least. And so you have to imagine that I had to have some tough skin because I was making mistakes a lot. So I needed to learn. The same applies in business. Whether you're in the C-suites or you are a leader in your company, we must always understand that we have to be in learning mode. You have a curiosity about a situation, about a goal, about an objective, and that in and of itself ensures that you will reach your goal. Here's a good one. The team rides faster than the individual over time. When we were on the ride, Gary Jonas was the fastest rider. And so what would happen is he would go out in front of us and the riders would say, hey, take your time, trust me, we're gonna catch him. We are gonna use the wind in our favor and it's going against him. And so in business, I can guarantee you, no matter where you are in your company, no matter what type of business you're in, you're gonna need other people to help push you forward and they're gonna need you to push them forward. So always rely on your team. Always make sure that you guys are moving together and not separately. This lesson is a simple one. Give credit on all things. On the bike ride, we found that John Kraus, one of the riders, was really good at posting on social media. And oftentimes I would be lazy and I would go see what he wrote and I'll say, okay, I'm just gonna share what he wrote or I'm gonna copy and paste and put it on my page. And one day he read it and said to me, Marcus, I like your social media posts. And really what he was saying to me was, I didn't really give him credit for that post that I put on my social media page. I didn't mean anything by it, but obviously there was an impact to him. And I think in business, we're sometimes moving so fast and we're getting ideas from so many places that sometimes we don't take the time out to recognize and acknowledge who we got the idea from. Always, always, always give people credit. Oh, this is a hard one. The bike and the road will be there. The question is, will you show up each day? One morning I got up and I had all these cuts and bruises and sores. Something just dawned on me. It's like, man, the bike is always waiting on me. The road is always waiting on me. And I had to make a decision each and every day to get my butt onto the bike. Many of us, we wake up every day when we know that we have to go to work. We know we have people depending on us. Any sort of responsibilities we have, they're always gonna be there. The question that we have to ask ourselves, are we gonna show up? Focus on self-care to be your best self. One morning I woke up and Gary Jonas, who was my roommate in hotels for 49 straight days, said to me, Marcus, do you ever have any silence in your life? Because I'm always working. That sparked me to really think deeply about how often do we do stuff for ourselves? And I'm sure many of you are so focused on being servant leaders. You're so focused on serving everyone else in your life that sometimes you forget about the most important person. You forget to put the mask on yourself. And so I implore you to always think about in the mornings when you wake up, try to get at least 5 minutes of silence where you just focus on yourself. It will make a big difference in everything that you're trying to accomplish. Here's a great one. In order to be great at pulling, you have to be great at following. And so what that means, particularly in biking, the person in the front has the hardest job because they are blocking a good amount of wind from the riders who are riding behind them. This is a great lesson to those of you who want to be leaders or who want to go to the next level of leadership. Just know once you get there, there will be more wind to block, and not for yourself. You got to block the wind for the people who are behind you, your team that you're pulling. One of the great lessons I learned is you get tested the most as you're climbing, or in business as you're elevating. When we were riding over the Rockies, it took us almost 3 hours to get to the top. And it was the most excruciating day I've ever had. I've never sweat that much. My legs have never hurt that much. But I'll tell you that it felt great getting to the top. We also have those same challenges in business. As we climb higher, we find that we have more challenges. The issues that we have to face are more complicated and complex. Just know you're doing what you're supposed to do because you are continuing to elevate. This is my funny one. One of the lessons we learned was when things are going really bad, put a smile on your face and start singing. One of the things that we recognized was we never got in an argument.
Rain not gonna stop us.
We never said a foul word, no matter how tough things got. But one of the things we would do is we would just start singing, or we would tell jokes.
You were on my mind.
That's a great reminder for me when things are tough and we start to take ourselves too seriously in life, that sometimes we need to laugh at ourselves. Sometimes, whether we can carry a note or not, singing may be the most appropriate thing in the moment. All right, here's a fun one. Always be ready. Every morning we had to leave really early in the morning. And I'm an early morning person, but I do a million things in the morning. And I would come down and the guys would be out ready to go. And I came down ready and they would say, oh, Marcus, you had to put water. I got water in my thing. Oh, Marcus, you need to put, I got my shoes on. And so they say, oh, you're just always ready. And so there was the running joke that I was Marcus Always Ready Allen. And I think that's a lesson in life, that you always want to be prepared. You always want to be on time. And you always want to make sure that you have the right attitude and ready to go when it's time to get the stuff done.